Hi everybody, hello and welcome to another Royal Voluntary Service event today. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Vanessa Wright and I'm delighted to be hosting my final festive nature journaling session with you all today. So please let me know in the comments where you're joining me from and are you feeling Christmassy yet? I must confess to having a mince pie for breakfast this morning, so I'm definitely getting into the Christmas mood this week. So thank you for coming along, and I look forward to hearing your comments in the chat as we go. In today's bite-sized lunchtime slot, we will once again be using prompts from the natural world, which informs so many of our traditions and sparks so many of our memories which are associated with this time of year. So for those of you who haven't joined me before, what we will do today is a lucky dip advent calendar, and I will be drawing out a number to reveal which box I will be opening. And actually, hopefully we'll have time for a few boxes because we've got a few to get through. There might be a plant, there might be a herb, a spice, or other surprise. So what I would love for you to do is pop in the chat as we go, and when I draw out each of those prompts, any traditions or memories which come to mind for you when you think about that item. While you're doing that, I will share a little bit of information and background of why that item is associated with the time of year. So I hope you'll have a lovely session. We've got 20 minutes today. So thanks again for joining me. I'd love to hear where you're joining me from, and we'll get started. So the first one out today, let's have a look. We have got number 23. So let's have a look at that. So number 23, what have we got? We have got the birch, or the silver birch, as you might know. And so these are gorgeous, tiny little leaves. They've obviously gone a little bit golden because they've obviously fallen onto the ground, but I have found a few little green ones. So yeah, I'm just wondering what you're thinking about when you think about the silver birch. I think they're such a beautiful tree. I love their slender trunks that spark silver in the sunlight. So let's have a look at the birch and why it's come to be associated with this time of year. So when a forested area burns, birch is often the first to grow back. It represents rebirth, regeneration, and new beginnings. This tree represents the first month of the Celtic calendar, which starts immediately after the winter solstice, which is why I put the birch into number 23. So what have we got next? Let's have a look. Maybe I will get through. Everybody's quiet today. Hope maybe you're busy Christmas shopping and you'll come back to this later. So we've got number 1. Getting a few last minute bits. I know I've still got to do a few bits still for mine. Right, so number 1, we have got, you probably can't see this that well because I've wrapped them up because they're very sticky. So we've got dried fruit, so sultanas and currants. So I wonder what you associate with dried fruit and this time of year and winter. Maybe it's Christmas cake and making a Christmas cake, or even a Christmas pudding. So this was number 1. And I put this as number 1 because it follows very immediately after what's known as Stir Up Sunday, which I believe is the last Sunday in November. So Stir Up Sunday was when everyone in the family had a stir of the Christmas pudding with dried fruit. And it was common practice to include silver coins, and the lucky recipient was believed to have luck in the coming year if it was in their portion. But I've also read recently about people used to put other trinkets into the Christmas pudding. So maybe you would get a horseshoe, which would represent luck, or a thimble for thrift, wedding bells or bells for weddings, So it was almost like fortune telling. So yeah, that one is number 1. So what's next? Oh, we're plowing through these today. So next out is number 3. Let's have a look at what we've got in number 3. So I don't know if you can see this here. These are a little bit dried up now, but they smell lovely still. And this is ginger. And I wonder if you have any traditions involving ginger or even gingerbread at this time of year. So I don't know whether any of you make those gingerbread houses where you ice, and I wish I had the patience to make one of those. But decorating gingerbread is a tradition which stems from the 1500s. And it is said that Queen Elizabeth I gave gingerbread gifts that looked like the recipients. So it's been a tradition that has been very long-standing to use ginger at Christmas. And yeah, I'm interested to hear whether you have any traditions involving making gingerbread or decorating those gingerbread houses. So let's have a look at what we've got next. 13. Some might say it's unlucky for some, but let's have a look at number 13 today. So in here, oh crikey, I've got seeds going everywhere all over my table. But in here we have a couple of pine cones. So this one represents pine, and I've actually got the pine seeds dropping all over the table. And I wonder what you think of when you think about pine and this time of year. I love the smell of pine. I think it's beautiful, and it's always gorgeous to walk through a coniferous forest in the winter and you still feel that sense of life. So apparently pine represents peace, it represents healing, it represents joy, and it represents a long life. And the reason why we often have pine in our Christmas wreaths is the evergreen is said to represent enduring life. So isn't that gorgeous? And if you're wondering about how to tell pine cones from fir cones, the pine cones, their bristles are a lot stiffer, whereas the fir cones are like flaky pastry, and they really crumble really easily. So if you're out on a walk and you see some pine cones and you're not sure which ones you might be looking at, that's a little thought on how you might identify it. The other thing you might want to have a look at when you're trying to decide what conifer it is you're standing under is the pine needles are often in pairs or in threes, whereas or fives actually, whereas a lot of the other conifers are single, like the spruce and the fir. So that might be a little clue to help you get better at identifying conifers as you go for your winter walk. So let's see what else we've got for today. And hopefully if you're watching this on playback, you know, these are little prompts that can inspire traditions and memories that you might like to give some thought over the week when you might be thinking about your own traditions for Christmas, or maybe even creating some new ones. So next out, we have number 20. And let's have a look here. Aha! I'm wondering whether you're a lover or a loather, but you might be able to see these are Brussels sprouts. I'm personally a fan. I do like them, the little mini cabbages, aren't they? And I'm wondering whether they will grace your dinner plate on Christmas Day this year. So for Brussels sprouts, they thrive during the winter time and they taste better. I don't know whether it's true that they taste better after a frost because it makes it slightly sweeter, but whether that's an urban myth, I'm not sure. But apparently it's only the timing of them thriving during the winter that explains their association with Christmas. So originally they were cultivated in ancient Rome, but their popularity grew in Belgium and the Netherlands in the 16th century, hence their name. So yes, I'm wondering whether you love your Brussels sprouts or whether you prefer you didn't have them, or whether you just cook them because you always have, and you might just be keeping up traditions. So yeah, I'll be really interested to hear whether they will be making your Christmas dinner plate this year. So let's see what else we've got here. Okay. Next out, we have number 5. So let's have a look what we've got here now. So number 5, we have the fir. And I will just take out a few bits of fir. This is actually from my Christmas tree. That it was only a tiny one, but I bought a Christmas tree a few years ago, and it lives all year now on my balcony outside. So this is snippings from my old Christmas tree, still going strong, as you can see, and is producing. These are some of the new shoots it's produced. But as I was saying about the pine that grow off the stem in pairs or 3s or 5s, you'll see here that these are single leaves that grow off the stem, and they're actually quite soft when they're new. They're not spiky at all. Spruce is very similar. This spruce will also grow single leaves off the stem. And the way you tell the difference between a fir and a spruce is the fir has flat leaves, whereas the spruce you can roll in your fingers. So, yeah, this is like a little hedgehog, little sprig here. And it doesn't really smell, but I think it's because the tree's still quite young. But in case you're wondering the association with this time of year, apparently the fir tree was the first Christmas tree was allegedly from Germany. And as I said, evergreens are an important reminder that life returns, and life does continue through the winter, when sometimes we do feel like the world becomes a little more stripped back. So it's always lovely to go out and have a look and see if you can find any conifers around at this time of year. So what else? We're getting towards the end. We've got a few more. So next out today, we have number 15. That's the day of my birthday. So I thought it was only right, not the December, I'm 15th of June, but I thought, oh, in homage to the day of my birthday, I have filled these with some favourites, chocolate coins, which I shall be eating later, because when the session is over, I won't need the prompts anymore. But what's really lovely about these were a massive throwback to some of our old money. And I remember how big the 5 pences used to be and how small they are now. Yeah, these were a lovely reminder. So chocolate being a prompt, obviously cocoa grows in the natural world, and chocolate is obviously popular at this time of year. And I don't know about you, but I certainly used to look forward to getting chocolate coins in the bottom of my Christmas stocking. So how did chocolate and chocolate coins become associated with Christmas? So the tradition of chocolate coins is said to be inspired by St. Nicholas. These were edible pennies that were introduced into Europe during the 16th century, but they were made really popular in Victorian times. And I didn't realise quite how far back that tradition went. I thought it was quite a modern day phenomena, but apparently it's not. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. So next out here, we have number 16, its neighbour. And in this one, we have, it's a little bit shriveled and dried up, but we do have some mistletoe and some mistletoe berries, as you can see here. So obviously mistletoe is associated with love, peace and goodwill, and it's traditionally hung to end discord and of course for Christmas kisses. It's been quite a poor year for mistletoe this year. I've struggled to find many at all, and some florists have also told me that it's been quite difficult to come by this year. So perhaps it's like other plants where they will have a good year and a bad year. But a little interesting fact about mistletoe is the berries, of course, are really sticky. And when birds eat the berries, they obviously discard their stomach contents. And the stickiness helps the mistletoe, which is obviously a parasitic plant, spread and grow where the birds leave their droppings. So yeah, but we obviously like to bring a bit of harmony and love and goodwill into our households and hope we have some jolly fun. So number 21, second to last one now. What have we got? We've got the oak. So I don't know about you, but you might be thinking, oh, the oak at Christmas, that's an interesting one. So I've got some oak leaves here, and obviously there's been quite a lot of oak dropping their acorns, which are now starting to rot because we've had a frost and a lot of wet weather. But yeah, these are obviously acorns and leaves from oak trees. And the reason why I've got this in the Advent calendar is because at this time of the winter solstice, the Oak King defeats the Holly King as we say goodbye to the solar year. The oak is a symbol of endurance, power, victory, and triumph. And apparently it's tradition to keep burning oak going for 24 hours on the solstice. And obviously that will be the time when the days become lighter and we return to the glory of the oak tree. And finally, we've got number 24. How fitting that that's the last one. So last out here is the carrot. And hopefully on the 24th, if you've got children, you will be, or grandchildren, you might be putting out some carrots. Santa's reindeer, of course, love their carrots. Really good for being able to see in the dark as they deliver their presents. And they are put out on Christmas Eve in the hope that the recipients will receive full stockings. So that is all we have time for today, as we've opened the last of the Advent Christmas boxes. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for your participation if you've joined over the last 3 sessions. And if you're catching up on playback, then I'd love to hear any comments in the chat. I hope you've enjoyed today's session and there've been some useful prompts that have reminded you of some of your own traditions and memories. And hopefully you'll be able to expand on those prompts in greater depth through the Christmas period if you have some downtime where you would like a bit of calm. But it's only now fitting to say just I wish you all a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. And in the meantime, happy journaling and have a lovely week. So bye for now. Thank you for coming the last few weeks.